Dream big is following your dream. What are you unique? The second part is act big. What is that thing that you're... And the third part is cross the finish line, to never, ever give up. My name is Croix Sather. I'm running from San Diego, California to New York City in 100 days. But what I'm actually doing is following my dreams.
We are talking to a very interesting man today. It's Croix Sather. He's an endurance athlete and motivational speaker. And so you're running across America, basically.
Literally.
You are crazy.
A little bit. Each morning I start off by speaking to young adults who are having trouble finding a direction in life, having trouble finding inspiration, because they don't understand what's possible.
Croix, tell us about your actions right now and what you're doing.
Almost 3,000 miles, so that's a marathon a day for 100 consecutive days. Never a day off.
That's crazy.
So when I was told when I was coming here who I'd be talking to, and the group that you guys are, it sort of intimidated me at first. But when I look out in the audience, I don't see wounded warriors. I don't see PTSD. I don't see that at all. I see courage. I see honor. I see respect. I see people who will not give up. And that's why it's such a great honor to be here. You have some issues that you're dealing with now, some challenges that you're dealing with now. And I can speak from experience from my accidents, and I can speak from experience from some things that I've done, that you have to let that stuff go. What you've seen, what you've experienced isn't good, it isn't bad, it's an experience, it happened. And if you look at it that way as just an experience and then pull the lesson out of it, then you can move forward with strength and resilience and not have it as something that's going to hold you back. When I was coming home from school, from high school in 9th grade, with my friends, we had ice cream and we're driving home on our bicycles. I'm on the right side of the road, I'm going with traffic. And my friends are on the shoulder, on the left side of the road, going against traffic. And coming up over the crest of a hill, a drunk driver was coming the other way. She hits me head on, full speed, crushing my bike under her metal bumper, launching me forward into the windshield, where I ricocheted off the windshield and up into the air. When my parents got there, they couldn't recognize me because of the bloody, mangled mess I was in. The neurosurgeon, the head doctor, because of the injuries at the back of my skull, he comes out and talks to my parents, and he tells my parents, quote, "If your son survives the night, he'll be a vegetable for the rest of his life." And then I had 2 years, give or take, of headaches that were in the back of my skull where I fractured it, that would literally just drop me to my knees when they would occur. And then I had memory challenges for years, for decades, in fact. I used that as my excuse to not do well in school. I used that as my excuse to not remember people's names. And I used that as my excuse when I got into trouble. I knew there was something different about me. I knew I was extraordinary. I knew I was unique. But I ignored it. I suppressed it. And I pushed it to the side. And that's when I started to learn that it's what happens inside your mind, between your ears, that's the most important thing in the world. And when you can control that, you can control anything. And when you get through that hard part, and then it starts becoming a little easier, and a little easier, and a little easier, eventually you're coasting. It's like getting to the highway. You get to highway speed, you want to do 75 miles an hour. It takes a lot of acceleration to get to 75 miles an hour. But then once you're there, you're just barely touching the gas. When you get to the end of your life, and you look back, what is it going to be like? If your life was here, and this is what you lived to, and then at the end of your life you realized it could have been here, do you want to have that thought? You want to be in that rocking chair on your last couple of days and think back to what I could have done? That's what motivates me. That's what drives me. What could I have done? There's a story about a farmer who lives out in kind of the middle of nowhere. One day this guy's donkey, his only workhorse that he has, this donkey, goes and he gets out of the fence and he starts wandering out in the wilderness and he falls into an abandoned well. The farmer realizes that his donkey's missing and he goes and looks for him and he finds him. And he finds him down this abandoned well, so he calls all of his farmer friends and they all come over and they bring their ropes and all the things that they have to get this donkey out of the ground. And they try all day. They're working for hours and it starts to get dark. And they realize they're not going to be able to save this donkey's life. So they're going to do the humane thing and they're going to bury the donkey alive. So they're going to throw dirt in the hole and they're going to bury the donkey. So all the farmers, they grab their shovels and they start shoveling the dirt in the ground. And they start shoveling the dirt, and they start shoveling the dirt, and it's landing on the donkey's head and his back. Well, the donkey does what's normal. He looks up and he's thinking, you know, what's the deal? So he shakes it off. The dirt falls to the ground. Farmers keep throwing this dirt into the ground, and it keeps landing on his head and his back, so he shakes it off. He shakes it off. Before you know it, it's up past his ankles. So what does the donkey do? He does what's instinctive to a donkey. He steps up. More dirt, shakes it off. Dirt gets higher, steps up. Shake it off, step up. Shake it off, step up. Before you know it, the hole's filled up and the donkey walks right out of the hole. That's what it takes. People are going to try to stop you. And when you're going to be the first one in your family to go to college, they're going to tell you it's not possible. What are you wasting your time doing that for? Just go get a job. Don't give up on your dream, especially if it's for college. You have to have a college education today. It's not a nice thing to have. It's a requirement. And it's a requirement. And if you have to put yourself through college like I did, do whatever it takes to make that happen. Because that's going to open up doors for you. See, every one of you has a gift in you. Every single one of you. So what is that gift? That's what you have to find. That's what you have to build a dream around and then take action to make it happen. Cross the finish line and never, ever, ever give up. A year ago, I was a casual runner at best. Casual runner. Now, a year later, I'm running a marathon a day for 100 days in a row. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. If some young guy who grew up in a poor family can overcome an accident like that, not be a runner, and then a year later he's running a marathon a day, you can overcome anything. But crossing the finish line is tough. When I was in Las Cruces, and this is, I don't know, 2 weeks in or so, my body's literally shutting down. It was tough climbing the mountains of California, but I got over that, and I started recovering. But then when I get into Las Cruces, a flat city, my body just starts to shut down, and it's had enough. And I get to mile 24, 25, and it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I have to sit down. And I sit down for a few minutes, and then I get up and I walk a half mile, but my body's shutting down, just literally shutting down. And I sit down again. So now this time I'm laying down on the floor, putting my feet up against a wall so I can get some of the lactic acid flushing out of my legs. It takes me 3 or 4 hours to finish those last 4 or 5 miles, when it should have taken me 40 or 50 minutes. But I can't give up. See, if I give up on my dream. If I give up on my dream, I give up on myself. And I have done that way too many times in my life. So whatever it is for you, your 26 miles, 27 miles, when you're in your Las Cruces and you want to stop, you have to get up and you have to push through, because that's what crossing the finish line is about. It's not always going to be difficult, but there will be times. You've had things in your life that you've had to overcome. There's probably a few of you in this room that have a much more dramatic and horrible story than I do. And you still have to put that behind you and push forward. When you have to walk through your Las Cruces and keep going forward. And that's how you become successful. That's how you create a life of extraordinary means, create a life by design. That's what BizCamp is about. It's helping young people take action and create businesses, revitalize neighborhoods just like this one, and take their lives into their own hands to go ahead in the future and make an extraordinary life, not only for them, but for the community and for their families. Each one of you has a gift. It's a seed of greatness. And you need to let that greatness blossom so that you can help other people and you can have that amazing life. Dream big, act big, and cross the finish line. Thank you, everyone.